No, I wash all new clothes when I get them. So the new H&M shit I got is in my laundry basket to be washed.
Oh, yeah, I don't do that.
I don't wash my I roll the dice.
New clothes, yeah, me too. Yeah.
Unless it's got all kinds of like folds and creases in it, I'll just throw it on. But like a dress shirt usually has to go through the wash.
About it. I thought about just like using these pants, but there's still just something in me that's like other people's balls have been inside these pants. Probably
other people's balls might have been in there.
Yeah.
You see, for me, I'm like, wow, man, somebody else's balls are in this.
It's an incentive.
Yeah, like that's a feature, not a bug.
I wasn't the first, but I'm the best.
Yeah.
So
I just heard the music cue in my head. It was like, welcome to What a Disaster.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the What a Disaster podcast. This week is this particular episode. I guess not this week because there should be one of each. I don't know. We'll find out same time as you. Really,
we don't know our release
This
schedule.
is a blast episode. We have decided, and by we I mean I have decided that these are episodes where
we have a blast.
We have a blast. And it's kind of like, explosions are blasts, and those are in disaster movies.
Is there a sound effect for the blast?
Blast episode TM. Don't steal that. Every horror movie on Netflix, you stealer of trademarked phrases.
Hey, listen, y'all, I've heard you say the phrase watch, review, and discuss. So I think if anybody's
going to talk that phrase before,
copyright violation.
It's pretty amazing that as soon as we started saying it, they started saying it on every horror movie on Netflix.
You're right. It's
weird. Fascinating.
Yeah,
fascinating stuff.
I'll see y'all in court.
That'd be great. We need more publicity.
You'll see the default judgment in court. I'm not showing up for that shit.
Amon versus Wad, Dawn of Justice.
Anyway, we have special guests today.
Hey.
Obviously, I'm your host because I'm Gregory Allen. And my special guests this week are Richard Sawasinski.
They're not special.
And Liz Bedore.
They're here every week.
Are they?
Are they?
If you think about it.
Greg just has a Rick voice.
He goes like this.
He just holds his tongue.
We have like 2/3 of the Every Horror Movie on Netflix podcast with us today. I should have invited Steven. I don't know why I didn't.
I never met Steven. He's my Nicky. He's a specter.
I know. I'm sorry. Steven, if you're listening, come on over.
Steven's actually an AI.
Right now.
Oh, is he?
He's an AI. It's text to speech.
We've programmed him to have impeccable taste and to like almost no.
You programmed him to every movie you guys watch.
That's why he doesn't like any damn thing.
We trained the AI on just like the IMDb horror category and like 40,000 back issues of Fangoria.
The only movies that he likes are the ones that are rated by like 9 out of 10 in Fangoria, and that's it.
Yeah.
Now you have to ask him to write his own.
And up.
Anything that gets over a 7 on Rotten Tomatoes, he hates.
Yeah, basically.
But yeah, we have Patrick
Is that
here.
The ghost? Was that the ghost? Is the ghost here? Every horror movie on Netflix has a ghost producer.
Yeah.
And they don't talk about him on the air because I don't think they're allowed to, or the ghost said he killed one of them?
We're in a dispute with the estate of the family
that
the ghost, quote unquote, belongs to.
Gotcha. Right. Okay.
I mean, he is a friendly ghost.
We can't tell you his name, but you might have heard of him.
Perfect.
But yeah, we have Patrick here from Every Horror Movie on Netflix and Chris from Every Horror Movie on Netflix, a great show you should be listening to.
How dare you introduce me and how dare you introduce yourself?
Why not?
It just didn't seem like we were going to get there.
Okay, never mind. Thank you.
I mean, I said that 2/3 of them are here. Isn't that good enough for you guys? Everybody but Steven. If they don't know who you guys are, why do you care?
Yeah, who are they?
I mean, exactly. Who are they to you guys? The peasantry?
Yeah.
You don't need the peasantry. They clearly don't have smartphones if they don't know who you guys are.
They're useless people.
Obviously, no one here is going to introduce Chris on his own. Chris from Every Horror Movie on Netflix is here, and I'm Patrick.
No, apparently every horror movie on Netflix needs introductions now. It was not part of the contract we signed. I gave you guys shrimp. I fed you shrimp.
You did.
You know what? Since nobody here is going to introduce Greg on his own, we have Gregory from the What a Disaster podcast here with us today.
We also have Rick from the What a Disaster podcast and Liz from What a Disaster podcast.
Wow, somebody's getting greedy with intros over there. Patrick's just scooping them up.
Thank you guys for joining us on your own podcast.
The intro vacuum. Patrick Dunn.
Just taking those up, taking those intros from everybody else.
We
None
can't
for anybody
forget
else.
Redacted, the friendly ghost.
Yes. I feel like we should talk about the array of snacks that's going on.
Yeah, there are a lot of
'Cause
snacks
it's
up here
impressive.
tonight. Now, many of them are crunchy, and we're not eating them for some reason. I don't know why.
Because crunchy and recording don't go well together.
Should I
He
eat a
learned that
crunchy
from
snack?
Blank
Here it
the Friendly Ghost, I bet.
Should I eat a crunchy snack?
Yeah, please,
It happens
everybody,
almost
have a
every
crunchy
podcast.
snack. Oh,
Really?
that sounds just delicious.
We only eat deviled eggs and beans on this podcast.
The only thing
That's a Cool Ranch Dorito, y'all, listening audience.
We thought about doing Jell-O, but there's too much slurping.
the only thing we're missing is baby carrots.
Oh, some baby carrots would be
Yeah.
good. I've got some downstairs.
Apples make a terrible sound.
Yeah.
We've also got peanut M&Ms. Here's what one of those sounds like.
It's a Foley studio for terrible sounds.
It's good.
For Patrick eating.
Not only our show by
exclusive role.
We got
You can put it in
sound
headphones
effects
for
on.
Patrick
Christine to
eating.
go sleep
Give me
to.
a call. We will get this set up. We will get Patrick eating anything you want on audio just for you. Let's see if we can do a chocolate peanut butter pie Oreo.
Here's a chocolate peanut butter pie Oreo.
Here we go. Oh, that sounds
sounds
so
real
good.
realistic.
Is this a fucking ASMR podcast?
He's actually Patrick's actually breaking celery and punching a bowl of oatmeal right
Now
now
I'm
to get
gonna
that
rub
sound.
your
So
Why do I have a boner?
I mean, that's pretty much just par for the course for you, isn't it? I'd be more
dosed you.
concerned if I didn't see a bulge in the front of your pants.
we dosed the Cool Ranch Doritos with gas station and boner pills. Sorry about that. We just broke them up and sprinkled them all over.
You bastard.
Are we back
That's
to
what
the
the
gas
glitter
station drugs now?
Gas,
What
boner
are
pills,
y'all's
man.
plans for the
Boner
rest
pills
of the
and
night
meth
now
at
that
the
you
gas
got us
station.
all
That's
in this
about
state
it.
of arousal?
So actually, it's a good segue this into the next topic. We wanted to do some podcast recommendations. I know we didn't tell you guys ahead of time, but we've all been listening to various podcasts. I imagine you guys
Ooh.
are similar. Do you guys have any recommendations? Anything that stands out right now? You can
Yes.
just do one each.
Anybody, we're going to tag them.
Just
so
one.
Just pick one podcast. Tell us a little bit about it.
Can I pick two?
greedy.
Wow.
Patrick, man,
That is-
scooping up the podcast.
Right.
Can I do two quickly?
Go ahead. You got a couple?
Yeah,
Get a
you
couple.
take-
I'm going to
two,
do
man.
two real quick.
Two real quick.
One Super Skull show.
How fast was that? He fucked it up.
Yeah, great. Yeah, we
Super
get some
Skull
right
Show?
down.
The official podcast of Vault of Midnight, the amazing comic store in Ann Arbor. They do
yes.
awesome comic book coverage every week.
Oh,
Number
check it
two.
out.
I'm already on to number two. Almost done. Song Exploder. Amazing podcast that breaks down songs that you probably know. They bring in the artist who recorded the song, made the song, and they break it down track by track, bass, drums, lyrics, whatever, and explain how they came up with the song, why it is the way it is, why it sounds the way it sounds. Super short podcast. It's like 15 or 20 minutes, and I love those.
So those episodes are shorter than you're talking about these two podcasts then.
I'm done. What are yours?
We're actually going to go to Chris.
Well, I really don't listen to that many podcasts. It's
That many,
unfortunate.
or you don't listen to any?
The only podcast I listen to every episode is the Chapo Trap
what?
House.
Is what?
Mm,
I'm
second
sorry.
that.
Everyone, you listen to every
It's
what?
the Chapo Trap
every
House.
episode of what?
Chapo Trap
I'm
House.
sorry.
He said, what a disaster.
That's what I thought he was saying, but I just couldn't hear it.
It's good to have
I
friends.
listen to What a Disaster. I listen to every episode.
That was my number three pick, by the way.
What did you have next? What's your podcast?
I didn't write one down because I was busy
you're a
writing on
dick?
your guys's, but
Okay. I wrote mine down, you idiot.
I listen. There's a good one I kind of listen to sometimes called Citation Needed. They just listen to it. They just go and read a wiki page and then talk about it and they act like they're experts in this field. And it's always something stupid, obscure wiki articles about random people who probably got what they deserved. Honestly, it's usually bad things happen to them because they're stupid.
So they talk as if they're experts.
Yeah, they pretend like they're experts because they read it on the internet and that's how it works.
So, Greg, it sounds like they could do an episode on Rick.
Good, yeah. Lizington, what do you got? What'd you bring to the table?
It's a little entry level, but I've been listening to a lot of Last Podcast on the Left.
I've never heard it.
Me
It's
neither.
awesome. It's
really good.
true crime podcast, but they're comedians. They joke about it. Brings levity to the situation.
They do a lot of
Nothing
research.
says humor like murder.
They
Yeah,
do
I
like
know.
Jim Jones and stuff. They do these big cults and they'll spread out 4 or 5 episodes and they do a ton of research. They read books. I mean, they do it. It's a job. It's a
I've
job
seen
for these
them
guys.
on the directory.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
It's a
it's
solid
pretty
podcast.
good.
It's a really solid podcast.
I constantly see recommendations for it. Maybe I will give it a listen because
Yeah.
I mean it's recommended. Most of those are recommended because they're good.
They're talented
So-
guys. They make me feel jealous. Their audio sounds so good. They never say stupid stuff. You're like, man, I want to be that good.
They say stupid stuff. They just edit it out.
Yes, fair enough. They're good at editing out their bullshit, which is
God,
Well, I grew up
a
watching
skill
like
we all need
Forensic
to learn.
Files and SVU with my mom, and like just a they're kind of the same stories, but like a more comedic, like not so serious look at it. Not that they don't. I mean, sometimes I don't know. They're respectful, but
So I'm going to take a page out of Patrick's book. I'm going to do two. Oh, one.
You have two things to say about this.
I have two things to say about
us.
this. No, I have two podcast recommendations. Number one, the What a Disaster podcast. I'm surprised nobody brought that up, but except for Chris.
Amazing podcast. I don't like the host of that one very much, though. He's a little, I don't know, he's a little too much for me.
Abrasive? I would say abrasive.
He's abrasive. Yeah, that's
he kind of reminds me of
it.
Jack Black, and that's why I don't really like listening to him.
Yeah, perfect way to describe it. He has potential. Like if he really attempted a dramatic role, it would be amazing. But he kind of plays the same comedic role over and over again. It's like give
Kong
it up.
With Jack Black was really good in that King Kong movie.
Oh yeah, amazing.
But everything else, he is
Oscar
Jack Black
worthy.
being Jack Black.
Now his time has passed. He lost his chance to do that. Like
now he does a podcast or a YouTube channel about gaming. Yeah, true story. He's got a YouTube channel about gaming. Anyway,
was it Arrested Development that had the Jack Black? Like where he was in that movie with the old lady and
no, that was The Office.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was weird. That was way down the rabbit hole.
My two actual podcast recommendations: Within the Wires, which is Welcome to Night Vale Productions, Night Vale Production, whatever. Night Vale Presents, I think, is what they call their network now. And it is they're very different stories from an alternative history about the United States, or about the Earth, really. And they're all, once again, they're all very different for each season. They're on to season 3 now. They're unique, they're interesting, they're fun to listen to, and they keep you guessing, which is cool. I like that kind of thing.
I know you're doing a quick thing, but what's the alternate history? Like, what's the basic, like, kind of difference in the history of the Earth?
It seems like after World War II, Earth went to an anti-cultural, I guess, bent, where they try and maintain a status quo to prevent people from tribalizing. So when people have babies, instead of having a family unit, they get pregnant with permission from the government, and then they give birth in a birthing center, and then the kid is raised and provided back to society with the belief system that that they instill, that this new world government instills in it,
which is basically my fetish.
It's Richard masturbates every time he hears the start of one of those episodes. It's really, you got to listen to it. It's weird, and I like weird podcasts, so I listen to every episode of Welcome to Night Vale.
It's sleepy though. We tried listening to it on the way here, and it's very sleepy.
All right, well, Jesus, Greg, what's your second pick?
You guys asked questions, I answered them. You want thorosity, don't you? That's thoroughness with an isity at the end, minus the nis.
Wow, you just blew my mind.
Yeah.
I'm learning words tonight.
The other one
That's our other podcast.
is called Hello from the Magic Tavern, which is a fantasy-themed podcast set. Well, the host was sucked into a portal behind a Burger King and happened to have his podcasting equipment and is getting a Wi-Fi signal through the portal. And he interviews fictional beasts and people in this fantasy world.
Yeah.
So I got this bit of movie news. I discovered it and was curious about what you guys thought.
Wait, we're doing the movie news?
Shut the fuck up!
I'm talking! I want to have the cue for the song. God! There's no cue!
So, the Saw writers are working on a reboot of the Final Destination movies.
Define Saw writers.
You know what? I didn't get the names.
You built that up so long. That was like the most underwhelming piece of news you could have delivered.
Any of the Saw writers working on Final Destination is fucking
James
sweet.
Cameron is directing the next Avengers movie, and Wolverine is going to be in it.
James Cameron has decided
as well
to start
as the entire
doing
cast of the Fast and the Furious.
low-budget horror movies instead of...
James Cameron is taking on the next Saw movie.
Underwater.
Yeah. We're not going to see it for another 10 years because he has to develop the technology to film it.
I assume James Wan's not doing it because that would be the headline. Is Lee Winnell doing it?
Let's look.
They say Saul writers to bury the lead a little. It's
Patrick Melton and Marcus Dunstan
Never heard of him.
are
you
going to
just
be.
did.
There you go. I just told you. Jesus.
I mean, that's cool. Does it say what songs they wrote?
Final Destination.
Probably putting some nails in
Supposedly
people's heads.
but some of the news is saying it's a 6th sequel as opposed to an actual reboot.
Do you know which saws they wrote?
4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Okay.
the best ones.
The third one is the best
Actually,
one, but
according
that's
to
all right.
Chris, yeah, six.
The
is the best.
sixth is
seen
the
any of
best sequel.
I disagree. The third
There'll
one
be a
was
tanning
my
bed
favorite.
on a roller coaster.
He just rolled his eyes at me. He threw his eyebrows up and rolled his eyes.
Well, he can throw
I
them
can't
my
have
way,
a preference
too.
around.
I agree. What other movie news do you
You know, I
have
thought
for
you'd be
us?
excited, and it just underwhelmed. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm glad they're getting
I'll
work.
try not to. Maybe
to
you'll be
him
excited
again.
about this. They're
What do
making
you
a
have to say?
fucking
What were you gonna
Morbius
say?
the Living Vampire movie.
Oh, I'm down for that, except for the fact that it's fucking Jared Leto. Fuck Jared Leto.
Okay, so you're
I'm-
aware of that one at
I'm
least.
over Jared Leto.
I've never been more over Jared Leto. than
There was a
I
point in your
as soon
life
as
where
I
you weren't
first saw
over
him.
Jared Leto, where you were like, Jared Leto and I.
30 Seconds to Mars is great.
I mean,
I hated his
No.
character as much as I hate him from Dallas Buyers Club.
Dallas Buyers Club. I
yeah.
thought he was great in Dallas Buyers Club.
Alright,
Since then, I've
fair
been
enough.
over him.
I hated the character.
Really? In
Yeah.
Dallas Buyers Club?
Yeah, I mean, I loved
Why?
it. Like, I just didn't like the character.
Why?
I didn't like the person that the character was.
You didn't want to
Why?
hang out with
I don't
him.
know. He just annoyed me.
Jared Leto posted a fucking video on his Instagram of him like shaving off his facial hair to become Morbius the Living Vampire. I'm like, get the fuck out, Jared Leto.
The 3 people that are excited about that really
likes
like
his
you
face.
and Morbius, and those are people you don't want to enjoy in your life.
Hold on. Hey, buddy. Hey, yo, you with your fingers in your chin beard. What are you sitting on your fucking ass for? Huh? This is the 30 Seconds to Mars show, okay? If you can stand up, you better be up off your fucking ass right now. You hear me? Does he understand what I'm saying to him right now? No, don't look behind you. I'm looking at you. Yes, you. Yes, you. Oh, thank you very much.
My pop filter keeps falling.
So what do you guys think about the Iron Man writers working on Masters of the Universe?
He-Man.
movie?
Not much, to be honest.
Don't care.
I have
Don't
zero
great
feelings.
This is awesome. I knew you'd be excited. World War Z 2 starts filming in late March.
Also, I could not care
Don't
less.
care.
I
First
see
one
the,
was
Yeah,
blah.
read my note, Richard. What did I put in your
There's a
note?
note in my note. There isn't a movie I've ever cared less about.
There it is.
Gregory.
That's my note.
Yep.
There's an exclamation point there. I had to make sure.
2019 AD.
I mean, the whole thing is an
is Brad
explanation
Pitt
because it's
gonna
the
be-
end
Yeah,
of the
yeah. Actually, the first thing I
back.
did was went to IMDb to check.
Is Mark
Yes,
Forster
Brad Pitt's the
directing
only
it?
person on the
Showed
cast
back
list
up.
so far.
Who
What
gives
the
a
fuck?
shit? World War Z was terrible.
It was so bad.
Hot garbage. Not even hot garbage. It was lukewarm garbage.
Did you read the book?
It
I
was
read the
just
book.
garbage.
I didn't read
Room
it.
completely
temperature
different.
garbage.
The book sounded cool.
The book's a bunch of short stories about what happened during the war.
Sounds great.
See,
Yeah,
that
that's
is
awesome.
fascinating to me.
Yeah.
I would love to see
mini-
short stories from just multiple stories about what happens in these worlds.
World War Z is
and
a
we end up with
miniseries.
shit like The Walking Dead, where it's just the same shit. People are bad. Go fucking figure. It's
The
horse
only
crap.
good thing in World War Z was in the trailer where the zombies pile up and go over the wall.
That's the only good thing.
That was
That's
fine.
the only thing from the book, and the fact that the zombies can walk on the bottom of the
Also,
water.
not exactly
Sure.
new in the world of zombies.
You trying to tell me walls don't work?
This is not a political podcast, but walls slow things down. They don't stop any damn thing.
So yeah, World War
It
Z
worked
stupid.
in Berlin because there were armed guards killing
They're
people.
climbing over the
So-
walls. They're piling on top of each other and they're climbing over the walls.
Sad.
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 We're gonna build a wall. And we're gonna make the zombies.
And this is
pay
because
for
the
it.
Democrats didn't let me build the wall that we needed.
Yeah.
Disney Fox is expected to finish in early March.
Disney Fox should be illegal. I was just talking about that today.
Why?
Yeah.
It's way too much.
It's like
Why?
80% of all the like
Existing
intellectual
IP.
property, yeah.
Nobody's stopping you from making a new fucking movie, Hollywood. Jesus
no
God
one
in
will
heaven.
be able to because they're gonna have so much. Disney already has so much money. Fox has so much money. Like I was talking about this at work in the context of Netflix originals and stuff. Because everyone's always like, "Oh, Disney Disney wants to create its own streaming service and kill Netflix and stuff.
That I take more issue with than anything, because they are going to murder pretty much every other streaming service with the amount of content they have at their disposal.
I'm not even concerned about how much content they have, but how much content they'll be able to acquire.
Yeah.
You know, like
With
Netflix is spending tons of money on original content. Disney can beat them at that game all day, especially with Fox. It's going to be crazy. But what they can do with Netflix, they can do basically any facet of the industry, because they're going to have so much weight to throw around.
Like, what is it that I read? If they get Fox, the only other big studio left is like Universal or something like that. Like,
sounds right. Yeah, and that's Comcast and NBC Universal.
They're only a big network, and so like, my issue with that is like, what if like somebody else wants to make a cool comic book movie? What if some other studio or some other industrious people want to make an Invincible comic or something from Image?
Well, there's
like,
Warner's too. That's the other
true.
big one. So.
You know, Netflix is just going to come in, or Disney's just going to come in and outbid. They're already doing that. Netflix is just throwing money at all this IP out there. If a book looks good and they're trying to get options for a movie, Netflix goes, how much money do I have to give you? And they'll outbid everybody just to get that, and it's just going to get worse.
I mean, I absolutely agree that Fox Disney merger is too big. It's
like
too
the
much.
Simpsons, everything. It's crazy.
As a fanboy, I'm so stoked. So excited that X-Men, basically just because of comic book shit. I'm so excited that X-Men and Fantastic Four are coming back to Marvel.
That can happen.
And then we're going to see MCU Fantastic Four.
Who gives a shit? That can happen with
I give a shit.
That can happen with deals a lot smaller than this.
I mean, it happened with Spider-Man. We got Spider-Man in MCU.
Yeah, so it's Disney owns 30%.
Only because Sony fucked up Spider-Man so bad.
Oh, they ruined it.
Listen to this.
a Sinister Six movie.
Here's the deal with Hulu. Disney already owns 30%. Fox owns 30%. NBC Universal holds 30%, and AT&T and Warner Media hold 10%.
Oh wow, yeah. So if DC buys Fox,
they have 60% of Hulu. And I feel like you're just getting into antitrust shit. Then they're going to control so much of the stream of entertainment.
Because one more piece of news: Avengers 4 is giving a terminally ill fan a early viewing.
Let's end on a feel bad. Somebody's gonna die, so they'll let them watch a movie
brain cancer,
first.
so I can get in on that deal too.
So Reddit made it happen. I actually saw the post on Reddit and a bunch of comments around there, and they tagged some dudes, and Avengers was like, "This is good marketing," and
that is 100% the thought they had. This is good marketing.
Oh, for sure. Come on, at some point, that's how it got this.
Oh, absolutely, somebody has said it, but. Yeah. You're definitely lopping off a big chunk of humanity there.
Yeah, I'm cynical, but regardless, the dude gets to see it. I'm happy for him. You know, that's good.
The effects are going to look like shit.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get to see them early. Is you don't get a lot of the post isn't done.
Yeah.
Well, I feel bad for the guy who got the same deal for Star Wars Force Awakens. Mm-hmm. And like, what a troll job that would be.
Sure, man, we'll let you watch it. You're gonna be pissed.
Yeah, you're gonna be
kill
pissed.
yourself halfway through it.
It's all a setup for. Well, no, but like, I mean, just
Great
being like,
film.
you watch the movie and then it's like,
wait, we're talking about the Force Awakens, right?
We're talking about the Force Awakens.
I had a great time with that.
We're talking about
watched it recently. Still great.
You're an idiot.
You get to the end of the movie and it's like a setup for it's like a teaser for the next movie.
You're like, finally, Luke Skywalker. God damn it!
Great ending.
Now you get to die.
Yeah, but if you were dying, that was a terrible ending.
Oh, okay, true.
Yeah,
true.
I mean, like I said, if I were on my deathbed, I'd just kill myself halfway through that movie anyway. It was awful.
You know what's dumber than Rian Johnson's resolution to the mysteries that J.J. Abrams set up in The Force Awakens?
Not a whole fucking lot.
I know.
Is all the fucking dumbass mysteries that J.J. Abrams set up in The Force Awakens without any real plan to resolve them. Who's Snoke?
You know,
they just killed Snoke, so we'll never know.
You know what's going to be even dumber than that?
When they undo everything Rian Johnson did.
When JJ like is like, it was all a dream. There were two Snokes.
Oh my god, I can't wait for two Snokes.
You guys have seen the tweet where it's like episode 9, and then like the first line is,
awakened.
It was all a dream. That's the first line at the
Attack
call
of the
in
Snokes.
episode 9.
Snoke 1's twin wakes up in a sweat.
Yeah.
Realizing his brother's
Snoke's
I
attack.
guarantee. If there isn't a second Snoke in the next movie,
Snoke's on a plane.
I'll bet all you guys
Mace Windu wants these
$3.
motherfucking Snokes.
I'll bet you all $3 that there's another Snoke in the next movie.
I'm not even taking that bet. I agree. I'm on your
The
side.
multi-Snoke theory. Yeah.
Yeah.
You think you can out Snoke the Snoke?
There's another Snoke like disguised as one of the guards
And then he
inside
cuts
Snoke's
Kylo Ren in
room.
half, and then another Kylo Ren steps out and says, I think I can. And he cuts the real Snoke in half.
He's like, I'm gonna Snoke you, but I'm done with you. I'm gonna Snoke you. Just
Honestly, I loved all the shit in Last Jedi. Snoke getting cut in half.
I love
Great.
that.
I loved
couple
when
of
Rey's
things that I
parents
really
turned out to be
enjoyed.
nobody.
I'm fine with Rey's
loved that
parents
whole
being
line.
nobody.
you know what?
I don't
Not
give a
everybody
shit
has to be
about-
part of a dynasty. I come from shit.
Yeah.
Why can't somebody else come
He
from
already
shit?
said he hated
yeah.
dynasties when we were talking about politics.
Yeah.
So wait,
why
what
can't
did you
Giants come from
dislike?
shit? You know.
The point is that these movies are not about fucking realism. They're about fucking characters.
No, they did fuck
And about
realism right in the
big
ass and then
mythical-
threw it out right
mythical
before they made the
fucking
movie.
moments.
Mythical moments.
And it is rewarding. It is rewarding.
Visually rewarding.
When Luke
Plot reward
fucking
is
shoots
nothing.
a torpedo into the fucking exhaust vent or whatever. When Han comes back at the last moment. And when Holdo, who you think has
Hey,
been
spoiler!
an asshole who doesn't care about anything.
She didn't care about anything, or she
suddenly
would have told people
sacrifices
what was going
herself
on.
to defend the rebel
And she
fleet.
didn't
Here's the
have to
problem.
sacrifice
It's-
herself.
It's not about realism.
Her
like her
sacrifice
hair.
is hollow though when
Great
everyone
hair.
was still gonna die.
So do I now, kind of.
Like the only reason they didn't die is because Luke's ghost showed up, which no one could have
She
expected.
did nothing to save the Rebel Alliance. Nothing.
She did what she could.
You can check us out on whatadisasterpod.com.
I'll be
We're
there.
Podwad on Twitter. We're
there.
WadPod on Instagram. You can check out every horror movie on Netflix.
Yeah, damn right.
Emoncast, EHMON cast on the Twitter, right?
What happens if we troll Wadpod?
Greg
Nothing.
found out. Greg
Oh,
found
you
out
don't
today.
troll back
Oh,
at
it is-
all.
oh, yeah, that's your trolling.
That was my troll.
Talking about how much you liked my home theater was trolling me.
It was so crisp.
He said it would have been hurtful if you had said what I said you should have said.
Yeah,
It would have hurt me.
I was gonna
That
say
would've
something
cut me.
about like a projecting your masculinity onto inanimate objects. But
Just because I built something doesn't mean you have to be envious and try and hurt me.
that's like verbatim what the guy says in Christine.
Except the
Greg
car
is
definitely
Arnie.
built itself in that movie. He did nothing. No, Amon. Just we're talking every horror movie on Netflix. Go check them out. They're good friends.
Yes.
They're good people. It's a good podcast. They like talking about the stuff they're talking about. They're excited about horror. It makes it more interesting.
Except for Steve, he hates everything.
No, he doesn't hate things. He just doesn't like things as much as he thinks
He just has a
could.
refined palate.
Exactly. Like just because you only eat caviar doesn't mean you can't enjoy a McDonald's hamburger once in a
All
while.
I'm saying is
We
Don't
eat
talk
the
shit about
slop.
Steven. You've never met
all I'm
Steven.
saying is I can't wait.
No, you know what, Richard? We're done. The podcast is over.
I understand.
We're done.
I can't wait for them to get on our show and hate the movie we make them watch. You just talk
Can
right
you
over the
be
cue.
professional one time?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking from you.
One time.
That's what I'm asking from you. All right, let's start over.
Are you done?
Let's start over.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Are you done?
I'm fine.
You don't need the
I'm
last word, me, Richard. Are you done?
Yes.
Thank
I'm
you.
I'm sorry.
And there he goes. He's back again. Last word.
Will that roll out? Like you can't.
Who should be the next Wolverine? Who's the next Wolverine?
I don't even know.
California Governor Gavin Newsom.